Estamos hablando que los boletos de, soccer tickets are expensive right now. And last week when we met, but real quick, how do you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Well, my name is Julio Ramos. They know me, como digo yo, en el bajo mundo.
En el bajo mundo.
As El Chiva Mayor. You can, that's my Instagram, El Chiva Mayor. And man, I'm a football lover. Soccer, for the ones that don't understand the word football. Soccer's been around my life the whole time, and I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We were just talking about how expensive tickets are. And last week we were talking about how the stadiums are kind of empty. Like people are afraid to go to the games, los partidos, because of immigration laws or ICE or cuéntame, is this an idea or is this something you've seen?
You know what? At the beginning I thought it was just an idea, but I have talked to a couple of friends from different states.
Yeah,
and they have assured me that a lot of people are afraid of going to the stadium, for many reasons. For example, right now at BMO, before you enter the stadium, they have they scan your face and, like this new machinery
really?
So people's afraid, man. I mean, it's not that they're not hiding anything, but the fact that the politicians right now are, against illegal immigrants. And let's face it, there's a lot of illegal immigrants that go to the stadiums, specifically, Latinos, Hispanics. So I think it's a little bit of everything. I think also the economy is not doing as good as we thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
Ticket prices, man, are insane. Let me give you an example. Mexico's going to play. And before, you can get a decent ticket for $60. Right now, $60 won't even buy you the parking.
Yeah.
So those are things that are Messi's coming in April 2nd. You go and check the prices. The cheapest one is $280.
And that's for a shitty seat.
Exactly. Well, in the BMO, there's no shitty seats on BMO Stadium.
Oh, BMO, yeah.
But
there's other stadiums.
But they're going from $300 to $1,600 for just a soccer match.
That's insane.
It's insane. I think unfortunately, football or soccer was el deporte del pueblo.
Claro.
And right now it's turning into a business.
Eso también te voy a decir. ¿Tú no piensas que también it's becoming more popular and it's becoming more of an American staple sport? I mean, of course, it's still not NFL or, baseball is, America's pastime, but it's become popular.
Super popular.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you go around any park and you're going to see kids, kicking the ball. Before, you won't see signs like soccer not allowed.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a little bit of everything. I think the fact that Apple TV paid $2 billion to MLS to have the rights to show the games, that just shows you that it's growing, and it's becoming a more of a business. I mean, it's always been a business.
Right. But worldwide, globally.
Yeah.
But in America, it's been you play soccer,
Mm-hmm.
And then what are some of the reasons that you think it's become popular? You just think, is it some of these celebrity players? Is it just it's becoming more convenient, more accessible? I mean, it's always been accessible, but ¿qué cambió?
Not that accessible, though. I mean, things are changing because soccer is the number one sport around the world. That's number one. Number two, I think MLS has done a really good job on building the foundation that and taking it step by step to grow that structure of football here in America. The fact that they have soccer-specific stadiums for every single team or almost every single team, not even Mexico that has more years where their league has that.
Yeah.
But they cater to the fans, the popular players, a little bit of everything. But I think they're going on the right path. Unfortunately, it's affecting the real fans' pocket because it's getting more expensive.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22. Explícame. I typical American. I didn't follow soccer much. World Cup. Yo me dedico al World Cup. Now I've been going more with Jaime. I've been going to LAFC. I love their branding. I love their marketing. Break it down. Who is MLS and what are the different categories? And is MLS an American corporate?
Yes.
Break it down.
Yeah, MLS is a corporation and they actually own all the teams. Everybody, like for example, if you bring Messi and all the sales from what Messi does with jerseys, they share the money with all the ownership from all the teams.
Okay.
So MLS controls everything. They're
like NBA.
Kind of NBA. Yeah. So it's the East and the West.
Right.
So you have, I think right now we're at 33 teams with a brand new team in San Diego. Actually doing pretty good, starting pretty good. A very good market, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like what MLS has done, they have trickled down very good on where to put a team, because everybody wants a team, but not everybody can afford a team. You know.
Right.
Let me give you a perfect example. When Chivas USA came in to MLS, they paid $5 million to get a franchise, which is nothing.
Yeah.
When they sold the franchise to become LAFC, they got $150 million. So that's in a yes.
So that's where the money's at.
That's where our money's at. So
we got to buy a team,
right,
and flip it.
Well, right now it's very expensive, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right now the franchises for MLS, but back in the day they will come on, get one. You know, there was only like 10, 12 teams. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's growing so much. MLS, they monopolize the league in a sense. You know, you have salary cap, which is holding back the league from growing. It's so weird because if you become a champion, your budget, you know, lowers down, and then you have to get rid of players. It happened to LAFC.
If you win, really?
Yeah.
What, to like even it out?
Yes. It happened to LAFC. It happened to Galaxy. It has happened to other teams that have won the championship. It's just weird, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that what's holding back MLS from being like a top league around the world is the calendarization and the fact that they have the salary cap.
Wow. So what do you think is the future for MLS? Just growth, just unlimited growth?
It's a bright future. The fact that we're having the World Cup in a couple of years, Mexico, Canada, and U.S.
We have Super Bowl, World Cup, and Olympics coming in, right?
Yep.
In LA?
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be good for us.
No.
You know,
a vender agüitas en la calle.
todo, hermano, lo que se pueda. Ya estoy sacando camisetas de todos los equipos que vienen. But you know, it's only gonna help the MLS, and I think they know what to do. They know the next step, and the next step for them is having the same calendar as the rest of the world when it comes to soccer.
Right.
Because we don't have it. MLS goes just a straight, 33 games the full year, and then they take some months off. And in other countries, it's like more. It's a different calendar. That's one. Number two, relegation. The fact that we don't have relegation. What relegation is, if your team does bad and is the last team, the last place, they go down to Division 2, and then you bring up the champion of Division 2 to Division 1. The reason why they're not doing that is because, like I was telling you, the franchises are so expensive that they want to make sure that the people investing money in a franchise for MLS, that they don't have to worry about, oh, shit, if my team doesn't do right, like I'm going to lose all this investment. Because that's what happens when a team relegates around the world. I think those two things, when they change that in the salary cap, it's going to be different. And they're going on that. Right now, I think it's the calendarization first, and then the salary cap is also going to change. With Messi coming in, I mean, they're basically have half of ex-Barcelona players with Miami.
Yeah, of course.
So that opens up for the rest of the team, because remember, they got to be fair, right?
Of course.
So, it's a bright future for MLS. I think it's going to be the best league. And it hurts me to say it, because to me, it's Liga MX and then MLS, what I follow. But MLS is going to be the best league in the continent of America in 10 years.
I'm sure. LAFC, I was looking at the ownership. How is that normal to have such an incredible ownership? I mean, the actors, celebrities, famous, business mongols. Is that normal for a lot of teams, or that's like an LA thing, typical?
I think it's an LA.
It's an LA thing.
Yeah,
right?
man, because it's too many good owners. Even if it's a little bit, the fact that they're there on the list and they bring their own people to follow the team, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I think that's one of the things that makes LAFC unique. The fact that they have a lot of people.
Well, their branding and marketing is insane. Too. I had Stacey Johns, the CEO, CFO on here. And last I heard, their marketing was so amazing that they signed up with a worldwide parks and rec center that's global, and they got hired just for the marketing aspect of it. And I was like, wow, if they're killing it. Uniforms, styles, everything.
Sexy
even their stadium. It's beautiful floors, beautiful bars. Yeah,
beautiful team on the pitch as well. We have a really strong team. We've said it, LAFC nació grande. They were born a big deal.
Sí, mero, cabrones.
Sí. But it's funny because when you talk about how they advertise the team and everything, at the beginning, it has never been about billboards or commercials. It's about
Passion.
street by street.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that the hat that which I didn't bring it today, but it's an iconic. It's turning the idea behind it, which by the way was from Richard Roscoe. Shout out to Richard Roscoe.
Yeah.
Was taking
Big
Rich taking the LA out of the crest of the team.
Yeah.
And make it an iconic hat that represents Los Angeles, regardless if you follow football or not.
Right.
And he's becoming that.
Yeah.
It's becoming
it's a symbol.
It's a symbol of Los Angeles. Forget about LAFC, of Los Angeles.
Of Los Angeles, yeah. Like the LA Dodgers, like everything.
And that's amazing. So
it's becoming almost like a Nike. Like people want to wear Nike for that, a team is becoming that. It's their marketing.
The marketing has been crazy, man. Again, the street by street, listening to the supporters, listening to the right people.
Yeah.
I think that's what has made them so successful when it comes to all of that. You know, the fact that, for example, just by building the stadium, you know, we were there with Gensler, I think was the ones that built it. So we had meetings with them. We had a group. You're like, ¿cómo se dice? They will get us together, ask us questions. How do we want the stadium built? What do we want in the stadium? What do we think is important? All of those aspects of football, because people think that it's just about kicking the ball.
Yeah.
Football is more than that, man. Kicking the ball is just a cherry on top of the cake.
Yeah.
But there's so many things around it, from what you have on the grass on the field, the stands, the people that you bring in, who do you cater to, what do you represent, what does it mean to people. Those are more important aspects than winning a game or playing a game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just see sport. That's it. For me and for many people that you see in the stadium, it's above and beyond.
It's technical.
Yeah.
It's technical. It's a skill. Uno de los partidos que fui con Jaime, I think it was LAFC versus America.
Yes.
America.
Sí.
Y Jaime and I were both. The fact that Jaime was confused made me even more confused. But LAFC was wearing their away jerseys, and America was wearing their home jerseys at the LAFC. And rumor has it that America paid to play at what was that about?
I think it's more of an advertisement to advertise the uniform, because there's nothing behind it. It was a friendly match.
But didn't they have to pay to be the home team, or
no? I mean, LAFC is a home team. They actually pick what uniform they want to use.
Right, but what Jaime was telling me was like he's never seen them wear their away jerseys at a home game.
I think es que ya cuando uno crece y se va a hacer más
se va
viejito.
perdiendo.
Saludos, Jaime. No te creas, hermano. No, we have used the second or third uniform at home before.
Claro. Like so América no pagó nada extra or rentó el stadium. Porque esa fue la idea que nos fuimos.
It could be that the people that organized the game, but I think the people that organized the game was LAFC. They wanted to face a really good team before coming into the Championships Cup,
which we won.
We won, by the way. America fans, you guys couldn't even fill up the south end, and supposedly we're gonna take over the stadium. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't think so, but I mean, it could happen.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about LAFC. Let's continue talking about. First of all, I see you have the ring, which is amazing.
Yes, actually 2 rings.
You have 2 rings.
Opens Cup and the MLS Cup.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a badass ring.
Oh yeah, I love it.
You're one of the founders or the founders of 3252.
One of the founders.
Yes. What is 3252?
3252.
For the people that don't know.
Yes, 3252. It's the supporter group that is in the north end of the BMO Stadium. We've always been there. You can go to any game and you may see the stadium empty, but never a section.
Yeah,
we're very passionate. I think that we revolutionized the MLS when it comes to supporters. A lot of supporters are trying to do what we're doing. Even Galaxy, even Carson, they didn't have safe standings in their stadium, which is there's no seats. You're standing, because in the supporter culture, we don't sit down. We're always standing, singing, chanting, etc.
Yeah,
and we saw that also in Austin as well. So many other teams that are following what we did. The 3252 is more than a supporter group. It's a union.
It's the heart.
It's the heart and soul of Los Angeles Football Club. But besides that, it's also a community. It's also, we welcome everybody. we always fight for the right things, regardless. Not just about soccer or football. It's about our community, and our community is Los Angeles. So we're always willing to do what it takes to help our community, and that's beautiful, man.
So some of the things, because I never even thought about that. Obviously you guys just don't go to the match and that's it. Se ven más. You guys do stuff outside. What are some of the things that you guys have been a part of, and the events that you guys put together? And
let me tell you one that I really enjoy doing it and love. We had an away game in León, Guanajuato, Mexico. One of our friends through Global Diplomatic, Carlos Aguirre, got together with a 3252, and we went to an orphanage 2 miles away from the León Stadium. We went. We had some time with the kids. We donate a lot of stuff, and we asked them, "Have you guys been to the stadium before?" 2 miles away from them, never. They have been to the stadium, and I'm talking about kids that are very passionate about soccer. So we managed to get 60 tickets to take the kids to the stadium, and man, their faces,
they lost their mind.
Oh my God, I get chills because it's something beautiful to see, especially when you love the sport so much.
Yeah,
those are the kind of things that we do as a community when it comes to the 3252.
That's beautiful.
Another one, we go to the farmers. Cuervos organize that through the 3252. And we deliver stuff to the farmers on Oxnard, all that. So we're looking, again, it's about community, man. It's not just about football. It's not just about soccer. It's about helping our community. And that's the beauty of the 3252. The fact that, let me tell you, for example, people that knows about soccer, they know that the rivalry between Mexicans and Salvadorians when it comes to soccer, it's hard.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we wouldn't even get along with and it's sad to say it, but it's true, with the Salvadorian when it comes to sports. LAFC, we have managed to find a formula where everybody feels identified with Los Angeles Football Club. And when you're in the stands, you forget about where you're coming from. It's all about the black and gold. And we become a family, and we talk about the issues that we had, and we put them aside. And actually now we're brothers and sisters of many other communities that were separated because of hate or soccer or whatever.
Yeah, some kind of division.
Some kind of division. So you can see a Chiva fan with an America fan chanting for LAFC. A Borussia Dortmund fan with a Bayern Munich fan chanting for LAFC. Manchester City, Manchester United fans chanting for LAFC. And that's the beauty of what we have built. Nobody has been able to find that formula when it comes to other stadiums, even national teams, because there's always division. With LAFC, we managed to find that formula of convincing people, like, hold on, you like soccer? Yes. What's your team? Well, I follow this team in my country. Or my country's dad, my dad's country. Well, come and support your local team, LAFC. Well, no, I feel like I'm going to be trading, my club. And then this is I think it's either do you want to be a fan of just watching them on TV, or you want to be a fan like being in the stands, being active for the city where you grow, or probably you were born here. There's nothing wrong with it. It's two different teams, it's two different leagues. So we got to convince people, to come to the LAFC, and that's why you see so many hardcore fans for LAFC with tattoos, Even Jaime has a tattoo of LAFC.
Yeah.
So it has become something very, very nice and very strong. And I think it's going to be something that is going to last forever in Los Angeles if we take care of it. And it's going to be more than just a team or just a supporter group. It's going to be something that represents Los Angeles. I don't know if you remember, if you went to the stadium on our opening match, we did a tifo thanking the firefighters for everything that that happened. The highlights on those things, those kind of things, those kind of type of messages, which are beautiful and are necessary right now in this society, man.
Yeah. People need to say it's a symbol of the city.
Yeah.
So we can easily say 3252 or this following of LA would not exist if it wasn't started in LA, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So LA kind of fuels what LAFC is.
100%. The fact that we're a melting pot, like you find people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And again, finding the formula to unite all of those people for one reason, which is Los Angeles Football Club and the team and the city is just unbelievable, and it's amazing. And that's why a lot of other teams are following.
Yeah. No, it's very incredible because you see Chavo, which is Armenian. You see the Mexicans. You see everybody. You see the Italians. Everybody's there.
One thing that amazes me the most is that there's not a single person that goes to the LAFC stadium that will not mention the 3252.
Yeah.
And from sponsors to big stars to famous people to a random fan. When they go to the stadium and they come out, they're like, holy shit, what's that? What's going on in the North End?
Yeah.
Do they get paid?
Yeah.
Are those guys for real? And no, we don't get paid. And yes, we are for real. You know, it's something that I always, for example, last game, there's a group from France that came in to interview and check out the North End. And the first thing I told them was like, look, man, one thing that you guys Europeans think is that we are fake fans here in the MLS. We're not fake fans. I mean, come on, we're immigrants. 90%, if not more, of the people in the stadium is immigrant or comes from an immigrant background.
Yeah.
Most of the immigrants love soccer.
Yeah.
So don't come and tell me that I'm fake when it's part of my DNA. You know? And I always and there was another group from Argentina, and I told them the exact same thing, you know, because they want to minimize what we're doing just because we're in the U.S.
Did you tell him, boludo?
Anda. Deja echar la pelota, boludo. Echa la pelota, boludo.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, you know.
Well, of course. I mean, the haters are going to hate.
Yeah.
I mean, what LAFC has done, I don't think anybody has done. You know, and their operations, their management, their marketing, their branding, the city, that everybody. And 3252, what's even more impressed that I see is that they have their own merchandise.
Yeah,
they have 3252
We're independent.
shoes. They're independent. It's like a brand of the brand of the brand.
Yes, sir.
You know, so what they've built, and that's because of you guys.
Yeah, it's
and 32. I know the answer.
Yeah, because you asked me what is it 3252, and then we went like.
Yeah.
So okay, so let me tell you this story, man. We before the team was before we even had a player, okay? Because don't forget the franchise of LAFC was announced on October 30th, 2014. Which, by the way, I was the only fan invited to the the unveiling or whatever of the new franchise in Los Angeles. After that, 2015, we started working with the founders of the 3252, which was like, I would say 9 to 11 of us. We started working at how we're going to operate, what are we going to do, you know, without even knowing where the stadium was going to be built, without even knowing what type of team we're going to have, the colors of the team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we started the conversation. We had 3 meetings that ended up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning trying to figure out a name for the supporter group. One thing that we had clear is that we wanted one name that was going to represent all of us, because we have many different groups within the 3252.
Yeah.
District 9 Ultras, Cuervos, Luckies, Expo Originals,
really?
TSG, which represents the Korean community, LAO, I'm missing Empire Boys. I'm forgetting like 2 of them.
Yeah.
But there's more than 9. There's like, that 42 Originals. It's just a lot of support groups within
the support
under the umbrella of the 3252. So we had very clear that we wanted an umbrella name to represent all of us. 3 nights, 3 in the morning, we couldn't get a name. One day we got invited to the Experience Center. The Experience Center was a little warehouse they built where they had like seats with the virtual, they would give you like a virtual tour of how the stadium was going to look, etc. So we're talking in the room, and Patrick, if I'm not mistaken, or Rich, said, well, guys, let me show you, this is going to be the North End, which, by the way, is going to have 3,252 seats or spaces standing. We all look around like, what? Can you repeat that again? Yeah, 3252. That's it, man. That's the name. Wow. That's what is going to represent us. And it has become, I think it was a perfect name. It was a perfect time. And it represents, more than just numbers.
Right.
It represents the whole North End and full force, and all the people that are putting there, because we put our life in this, man. People think that it's just like, you just show up and it's a hobby. No, it's 24/7 for some of us. The ones that are very passionate, and that's why we were able to build what we have right now.
Can you explain or give your opinion of what it feels to be in the stadium with 3252? What happens? The music, the drums, the flags, the smoke. Can you?
It's a energy. It's a whole ceremony, man.
It's a ceremony.
It's a ceremony. It's like we are the cathedral of football. We have the cathedral of football in the United States, And, vamos a una misa, hermano. It's como it's like going to church.
Sí.
It's a ceremony that begins with us tailgating. People, if the game is at 7, they showed up at 11. Have a good time with friends, with family, with kids.
Games at 7, they show up at 11. So están ahí
Todo el día.
todo el día.
Then after that, we do the pre-match get together. Like we round up with the drummers, and we do some chants and everything. We go inside the stadium, and then once you're there, man, I mean, the energy just takes over, man. The passion that we put into the drums, which are the soul and heart of the 3252. The beauty of it, and people don't understand that we're a very hybrid supporter group, and you don't see this anywhere. We have people that are professional drummers. We have people that play barra style, repenique, murga, which is very Argentinian, Uruguayan. And then we have something that nobody else has, the Aztec drums, that just gives more flavor to what we do. And then we have the chants that are, some of them are very European, and some of them are very, very South American.
Yeah.
And then you combine them both, and then you just have the most amazing supporter group in the MLS. It's indescribable, to be honest with you. You gotta be there. You gotta feel it. You gotta.
No.
You gotta know that. You just gotta experience it. And I invite everybody to come to the North End. If you haven't been to the North End, send me a message, and I will help you to get in the North End so you can feel that passion that we bring to the stands and why it's so popular and why are we the best.
That's beautiful, man. That's awesome. You have a podcast too.
Yes, sir.
You have a podcast. What's the name of your channel? What do you talk about? ¿De qué se trata?
Yeah.
¿Cómo lo pensaste?
Sí. Look, again, I'm a very passionate football person. And let me tell you a little bit of background about me. I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. When I was born, my father was working for Club Deportivo Guadalajara, which is Las Chivas, which is the most popular team in Mexico. So I was always around football. My padrino, my godfather, played for Chivas. So me being around football is, it's just different.
Yeah.
But one thing that changed my life for good is when I came to the U.S. is soccer. I remember, unfortunately, when I came here, I came with my uncles, and they were not going in the right path. So they got arrested. I was on the streets like for 2-3 days, and then some days with some friends that would let me stay in their house. And the only thing that kept me going was soccer. And don't take me wrong, I was not Maradona or Messi or a really good player, but I was very committed to what I did. The fact that
You were better.
I was better. Yeah. The fact that my coach from high school told me, "Listen, Julio, you stop messing around and you give me good grades, and you're the team." That's all I needed to hear to become a better student, because I would mess around. I had nobody to tell me nothing. I will just jump the fence, go get me a hamburger, jump the fence back, and nobody will tell me anything.
Which is funny because I met you eating hamburgers.
Exactly. Which, by the way, were very good. It's the first time I tried them like that.
Yeah, the Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman.
Yeah,
Wolf.
mustard fried, whole grilled onions with raw onions inside.
I love them.
Sí.
Sí. Qué rico, delicioso. Anyway, so for me, soccer has become, in my life in general, like it's the medicine that heals my soul.
Yeah.
When like one thing that we don't talk about as men is mental health.
Yeah.
Right? For example, when my father passed, my mental health was not the best. Until today, it's still like it hurts me a lot. But the fact that I was able to play soccer and be in the stands singing my lungs out, my heart out, that was just a therapy. I never thought, never in my life, I would think that I was gonna be able to meet people like you, like Jaime, like Giorgio Chiellini, Gareth Bale, Carlos Vela. I'm friends with most of the ex-Chivas players.
Yeah.
My idols, Claudio Suarez, Martin Zúñiga, Ramon. I can give you a huge list. I will never thought I would get to that point.
Same.
Pero mi amor por el fútbol has taken me there. Now, my channel is about that. Vive El Futbol is the name of my channel. Which, YouTube. By the way, my padrino, on YouTube and Spotify. My padrino, my number one, my first guest was Jaime Camil, of course.
Of course.
And people's going to say, well, hold on, why Jaime Camil? He's not even a soccer player. He's an actor. Yeah, but he's a crazy soccer lover like me, man. This guy, the passion that he has for LAFC, I mean, it's indescribable.
It's addicting.
And it's not fake because a lot of people think that he gets paid for that, and I just laugh. Like, no, he doesn't get paid. Like he loves the team.
He fucking loves it.
Dude, like
he loves it. Or piensa que es dueño, like we get stopped all the time. It's like, oh, you're one of the owners, and like, no, he's like, I wish,
right?
He wants to.
Nada que ver. He's just a fan like everyone else. So in my channel I have interviewed Carlos Vela, which by the way, you can go anywhere, and try to find an interview with Carlos Vela for more than 20 minutes. He gave me 44 minutes because of the relationship that we built through what we have done for LAFC. I think that he's a pillar of the success of this club.
Yeah,
and he's a legend of our club, and he deserves a really nice send off whenever if he decides to retire or whatever he decides to do. LAFC has to have a nice ceremony for him to say thank you because he deserves it. So in my channel, it's on interviews with players, and I have El Mañanero Futbolero, which I record live every Saturday, and we talk about football in general. Yeah. But that's basically it. It's all around football.
But ponga el teléfono. Put it on silent because the vibrations you could hear like in the speakers of cars. Like,
it is on silent, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. Porque está en silencio.
Sí. No, pero está vibrando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's my wife texting.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, it's beautiful. So you have 86 episodes. Or I saw you had 86 videos or something like that.
Maybe 86 videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interviews, I have, Chicho Arango, Elias Sanchez, Maxime Crepeau, Latif Blessing, Carlos Vela, Jaime Camil. I don't remember. I have more interviews that I'm going to start uploading, but yeah, it's just
what got you into that? What made you say, hey, I got to start my own channel? And I mean, first of all, it's amazing we can do this, right?
Yes, of course.
It's a godsend. But what made you decide? Tenía los compas ahí, hey, start your channel, or
again, I'm in a lot of interviews. Like I have been in Canal 30, Univision, Telemundo, Fox Sport, ESPN. Like they will invite me to talk about my teams. Mexico, LAFC, or Chivas. So after doing that, people will ask me like, "Why don't you do your own thing, man? Like, you seem like you're good at it, And it's a dream of mine, not just to have my podcast and talk about what I love, but also I work with the Empire Strikers. It's a professional soccer team of indoor soccer here in the U.S.
Yeah,
y soy el comentarista en español. That's another opportunity that I opened up because of all of these that I have done. And to me, it's like I enjoy it so much. It's just unbelievable. And I'm just doing it because, look, my number one goal with Vive El Futbol is for people to get motivated, for people to understand that there's more things going on around football than just football. And like what I mentioned at the beginning, soccer is more than just kicking a ball or winning a game or going to the stadium for the 90 minutes. It's a 24/7 thing. And soccer has the power of stopping wars. And now I'm not making this up. You can Google it, and you're going to see there's some wars that stop because of soccer. And it has the power of changing people's lives in a positive way. Whether if you're sick or you have mental issues or you feel alone, whatever that is, through soccer, you can change lives. And that's my goal, to change. If one person that listens to one of my episodes sees life in a different perspective, in a positive way, I win, regardless of the views. And that's my goal.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of this. Well, one, I enjoy the interactions with people. I can politely say, hey, turn your fucking phone off.
Yeah.
But the one-on-one, you don't get this a lot with people, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And then you're right. You one person, two people, three people, whatever the case is, a better attorney, better insurance, a better tip, a better way to live, a healthier style.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Now, what were you doing? Exactamente, ¿qué estabas haciendo that you were talking to the TV stations and the TV networks? Like you were just known as a crazy fan, that you were that guy that people are like, fucking Julio es, aquí viene Julio, like, quítase.
Yes.
That was you.
Yeah. So every time they will ask, do you know a fan that, like a hardcore fan that can talk to, that can really talk to about football and about the game that is coming up? Oh yeah, call Julio. Here, send a message to Julio. And I have a lot of connections with people from from ESPN, from Univision, from Telemundo. They always reach out to me.
Yeah.
Hey, I need this. Can you help me? Hey, can you come to the studio? Can we interview? So I mean, it's about knowing what you're talking about, I guess, or maybe they feel inspired or from what they see.
Well, there's a lot of people that know what they're talking about, but they're not passionate.
Yeah, and
you're passionate.
Thank you, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference, and that's why. Actually, right now I'm working for Latin Nation. We have a show in English. It's called Latin Nation Football Club. You can see it every Friday on the LATV app. And those are the things that I can't believe. Now I'm getting paid to talk about what I love, and that's something that I will never ever imagine. But I really enjoy, and I'm looking forward to growing more, so that I can continue to help people throughout football, and also make money for my family. At the end of the day, it's no comemos de estar hablando, right?
Sí, claro.
So I'm actually working on a couple of things that I want to do. My goal is to go around the world and visit those soccer fields or soccer communities that have no soccer balls and provide them with a soccer ball through donations from my fans. Actually, I did one thing. I went to Zacatepec, Morelos, and I went to an orphanage. And I know I went to an orphanage and just to see that how much they were suffering because the guy that was taking care of the orphanage passed away. They had no food. These are kids that are vegetarian, by the way. I was like, man, I got to do something. I only had to donate $500, but it wasn't enough. So I went through my social media and I showed the people, look, guys, I'm here in Zacatepec, Morelos, en la Sierra de Zacatepec, or mountains, and I need help. Whatever you can help me with, help me to bring food for these kids. I was able to gather together like 34,000 pesos, which is like $1,800.
Wow.
And it was just to see their faces. So this is all through my football community people. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to be able to help people around the world throughout the people that love the sport and that trust me with what I do.
Yeah. No, people have always talked about soccer being a very passionate or a good cause because all you need is a ball. That's it. All you need is a ball and 2 water bottles on one side. And,
dos piedras, mi hermano.
Dos piedras, exactamente.
En Guadalajara, 2 piedras la portería y toda la noche jugando fútbol.
Y toda la noche jugando. It's accessible.
Yeah.
It's accessible. And it gives a lot of people joy, hope.
I think, sorry to interrupt you. I think they're more than joy, which is, it's important. Hope. Hope is the right word.
Well, no, but to even get deeper than that, a veces uno tiene tantos problemas en la vida and life is so complicated that you just think about those problems.
Yes.
And when you play a sport, when you find something you like, estás presente.
Sí.
Estás presente y nada importa.
Yep.
There's food, there's no food, I'm thirsty, I'm not thirsty. No, I got to make a fucking goal. I got to go here, I got to go there, I got to do this, and that break in your brain is like, it's peace. It's peace of mind. You're going to sleep better.
It's more valuable than taking some medicine sometimes.
Medicine, but it's better than anything.
Yes.
Because the problem with alcohol or the problem with medicines or the problem with drugs or anything else, guess what? There's a bad crash.
Yep.
There's a bad fucking crash. You're cruising like, I don't care. I'm doing good. Woohoo, no me importa. Vale, let's fight. Whatever. Yeah. But this is but then it has a serious crash and consequences. And it has addictions and all that other stuff. This is, sports. I mean, yo también, this year has been insane. And my thing is I just been starting running and hiking and going, estar en las montañas and la naturaleza, and it's just like it's a break.
Nice.
It's a mental thing that we need.
100%. Let me tell you a story on that, and I'm not gonna say names, but I'm also a soccer coach for a high school and a middle school.
Yeah.
This is Poses in San Valley, and I was telling my wife like, "Oh man, I'm regretting being the coach." She's like, "What? Are you crazy or what?" I'm like, "No, let me tell you why. Hold on, I'm getting somewhere." I'm falling in love with these kids. I see them like my kids now. And I told the story of this single kid that came up to me. He's like, "Hey, coach, you think I want to make the team?" And by the way, I had already talked to the sporting director, and they have told me that this kid, was a troublemaker, that he was always like fighting with his teachers and all that. Anyway, So I'm like, look, let me tell you, I'm going to be straightforward with you, man. I want to be here to help you, not just to play better soccer, but also to be a better person. That's my main goal is for you to be a better person. I'm talking about 13-year-old kid. If you show me that you can that you can behave and that you can do better in school, you'll be a starter in my team because you have skills.
Yeah.
He gives me a hug. He's like, thank you so much, coach. You don't know what this means to me. That's one day. 3 days after, he gets a little bit late. He's like, hey, coach, I'm sorry I got here late. I'm like, is everything okay? Is there anything I can help you with? I'm like, oh, it's because I went to therapy. And I asked him, can I ask you, like, what kind of therapy? He's like, yeah, I'm going to, anger management and blah, blah, blah. So I took him to the side and I said, I'm going to tell him, look, mijo, I'm here for you. Anything you need, anything I can help you with, please, I'm here for you. Let me tell you something. You're not the only one struggling with anger management. You're not the only one struggling in life. But one thing I want to tell you for sure. If you respect this sport and if you really like it and you commit to it, it's only going to help you to be a better person and a great human being. When this kid hugged me and started crying, he broke my heart, man. But he also made me understand that that's what I'm there for. And that's my main goal, like I told you. If I can change that kid's life for positive, that's it.
That's it. You can rest.
Yeah, man. So those are the things that soccer can put you in, even within the 30 to 52. You know how many people have come to me and say, thank you, brother. I'm like, thank you for what? For what you guys have built. I was going through depression. I was going through this, and I came here and I found a family. And I found some people that cares about me. And all those little stories behind, like, again, it's not just a game. It's above and beyond it.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know what? I'm going to take a quick break real quick. Disculpa, no, está fuerte esa historia. It's los niños y casi más los hombres, they need that thing. They need to have value. They need to find a sport. They need to get that discipline. They need that because, a lot of people are struggling. And it's crazy to see how many people are struggling and something so simple can bring so much joy and being present. Y todas esas cosas, it's back to the same thing. It gives hope and it makes you present.
Yes.
Because we're always worried about the past, we're always worried about the future, and we're not living at the moment, and that's what causes problems. And now that kid, you affected that kid's life. Now that kid's gonna affect other people in his life, and we don't know what people are going through. It's tough.
100%. You know what I've seen is very sad within our Latino community, especially. I'm just gonna speak about the San Fernando Valley, but I'm pretty sure it's happening everywhere else. Taking my kids to soccer, I will come across kids that they will just get dropped off to the games, and you wouldn't see their parents around for the games.
It was like a daycare or something
like a daycare, and
we don't know what the parents are going through.
I was gonna go there.
Yeah,
some of them was because parents were working, and come on, we're here in the U.S. I mean, it's very tough for only one parent to be working.
Yeah,
like it has to be la pareja trabajando juntos para sacar la familia adelante.
Claro.
But there was also those kids that the parents didn't really care because they were divorced, the parents or whatever. But they will find in football and soccer the joy and the hope that they're looking for.
Yeah.
But there's also the other side of it that when they grew up, they didn't follow the right path. And for example, like one of my son's best friend that was very into soccer. He was a really good kid, good heart, very good soccer player. Went to the wrong path, and he ended up getting killed by some gang members thinking that he was a gang member. He was not. So this is the two paths that you can take in soccer or any sport. Like you said, any sport can help you.
Anything, jiu-jitsu, karate,
yes.
Anything that challenges you physically and mentally and requires discipline.
The only thing that there's missing out there in the community a lot, it's people trying to make that change. I don't know if I'm...
What do you mean?
Yeah. For example, you got the coaches that are there, but I don't see enough people really trying to get
involved.
Not get involved. For example, the coaches, they care about winning.
Yeah.
The ones that I come across. But it's very rare that I hear a coach talking to the kids about their future, what they can gain with soccer. More than just winning the game, like stay in the right path and your life is going to be better. I don't see a lot of coaches talking about that.
Yeah.
Is that making more sense?
It makes sense.
So I think we, for example, one time we were sitting down on a semifinal with my kids. He was 12 or something. And a photographer that I know for years, he's a very known photographer, Roberto. The coach is going crazy.
Great name.
Right? The coach is going, tenemos que ganar y que para que lleguen a ser profesionales. And, you know, and Robert stops the coach. He's like, hey, kids, let me tell you something. And I'm going to be 100% legit with you guys. From here, maybe none of you are going to make it professionally. From thousands and thousands of kids that play soccer, maybe one becomes a professional soccer player. But that's not the end of the world. This is an opportunity for you to learn how to play soccer. So maybe you can get a free scholarship at a university or in a college. So the kid's face went from being like, then what I'm here for to, oh, there you go. You know, it can help me with more than just becoming a professional soccer player. So people like him, we don't have a lot in the community. Yeah. People that talk to them about their real life. Because soccer is soccer. I mean, you can tell them about formations and
well, not only that, but you're getting the physical aspect, you're getting the exercise aspect,
yes.
You're getting the breathing aspect, you're getting the mental stress out of it. There's a lot of good things. And then if you work really hard and you work as a team, you get wins here and there. Yeah. And, you know, it's way more than that.
Yes.
Question. How long have you been coaching now?
With the high school, it's been 2 years, and there's a reason why. But I've been coaching. Like I had a team for like 20 years.
So you have 20 years of coaching experience.
Yes.
Okay. My question is, how have the students changed? You know, so for example, what I bring up is like I'm hearing rumors now that the younger generation, our goal in life as kids was to get our driver's license.
Yeah.
You know,
ya quiero salir, sí, ya quiero manejar solo.
Sí. Kids don't want to get driver's license. They don't care. There's Ubers and blah, blah. They don't want to, who cares? Is that happening with the soccer? Like, are people caught up on their phones or they're still fans and they still like it? Like, have you seen a change in 20 years?
Not with my teams because I get the
You're like, not me.
Yeah, because you know I make sure I get the kids that really enjoy playing the sport.
Yeah,
and it's not even about the skill of level; it's about the fact that they love it and they respect it. Again, it's about respecting it too.
Yeah,
I talk a lot about the gods of football. If you're respectful to the gods of football, they will give back to you.
The gods of football.
The gods of los dioses del fútbol y la gente se ríe de mí.
Sí.
Pero mis dioses del fútbol me han regalado mucho en esta vida. And the main reason why I'm here talking to you right now and I didn't become a gang member or end up in jail selling drugs because for me it was so easy. My uncles will sell drugs.
Yeah.
Is por los dioses del fútbol.
Claro.
You know, y me han puesto en lugares inimaginables. So when you respect
y te ha dado acceso a
gente inimaginable. So for me, it's very, very important. I always tell them about respecting the sport. It's more than just showing up to practice.
What would you say is? It could be a combination. It could be many things. But in your experience, what is the key to a good player? Is it discipline? Is it passion? Is it what have you seen? What stands out?
Look, skills is important, but trust me, it's not the most important thing. I've learned within the years that can help you, but only to a certain
extent.
That's it. It's about discipline. When I had a game that I was invited to Chivas Guadalajara under 20, so I came up with the under 20 team so we can play Chivas Guadalajara, which is we're talking about a professional soccer team. We go up in the first half and we're winning 2-0. We're beating them 2-0. Second half, they smashed it with 7-2. Everybody in the locker room was upset. We had him. And I'm like, hey, everybody quiet. You want me to tell you the difference why they won this game so easily? It's not because of skills, because you guys are good players. You guys prove it on the first 30 minutes that you can be better than them. The difference is that these kids sleep soccer, eat soccer, shed soccer, dream soccer, eat soccer, everything. They're disciplined. They train every day for hours. Do you guys think that with training 2-3 days a week, that's it? if you're really about the sport, you got to commit your life to it, and you got to be very disciplined. Like, and there's so many things behind just the skills. Yeah. That's it. I didn't need to say anything else. They understood right away.
So it's passion.
It's passion, but most of it is commitment.
Commitment.
If you really want it,
discipline,
commitment. I know players, professional players that had an amazing career that will tell me, you know what, Julio? In my barrio, I was the worst player. I was a worst player, but I really wanted it. I was very committed to it. I was passionate, and most importantly, you know, they will do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. You can be a great player, but if you're not committed, if it's not for you, if you think that because a lot of kids think that if I put you to an exercise or training, they think that they're doing it for me. They're not doing it for me. You're doing it for you. If you do it right, you're gonna be better. If you don't do it right, you're not gonna improve. Very simple. Just like in anything you do in life.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. You could be a decent player and still make it professional, or go far, or you can be a very skilled player and not care about the sport, not respect the sport, and you don't go anywhere. And I've seen so many of my friends, good players that could be professional players that had actually opportunities to be amazing players or professional players, and they decided to go out and drink. Las chicas siempre llaman más.
Yeah.
Et cetera, and then they ended up just being a regular person working in a factory. You know?
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, he said it. They're like, what's the hardest thing about training? He goes, the training's easy. Fighting's easy. The hardest part is not going to the bars, the women, the temptations, the drug, everything else. That's the hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny because I was talking to my, ahora tengo un niño que va a cumplir 16 en abril, and he's like, hey, Dad, like, what should I be focusing on, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, as long as you avoid parties and drinking and drugs and just do that discipline and practice your fight. He wants to be a fighter, a kickboxer. As long as you just have that discipline and avoid all this nonsense, you'll be good, man. That's it.
That will come. Kids, listen, eventually you will get that.
And it's better in your late 20s, late 30s when you've established and built something up.
Yes.
But otherwise, you have old timers like us that will be like, dude, I wish I could do my teens and my 20s all over again.
Yeah.
It was just a big party and it was useless. And I don't, and y se lo dije, I almost don't talk to anybody that I used to party with or drink with. I don't talk to them. And if I do run into them, they're not in good condition. They're pretty unhealthy. They're pretty lifestyle. It's pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
So those are all distractions. They're trying to take your time. To say it's cool. It's bad. It's really bad.
Especially nowadays.
Especially nowadays.
For kids, it's hard not to be committed or to be disciplined.
Yeah.
The phone is a huge distraction.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they know everything already nowadays because you can Google it and then you have an answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the kids that are willing to do, like, are trying to become professional soccer players or any sport, you have to.
It's funny because I was listening to a conversation and they were talking about how knowledge is gonna lose value because we have access to knowledge 24/7. I don't care what degree you have. I don't care what you're an attorney for. You can, there was a quick story about a man. He had a sick dog. Took him to the veterans. They did a blood test, this, that, and they're like, "There's nothing. Like your dog's gonna die. Like, we can." Whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, I love my dog. I love my dog. I love my dog. He grabbed the blood test and the results. He put it into ChatGPT. Look, my dog's this age. My dog's this sex. This is when it happened. This, that. Here's his blood results. And ChatGPT is like, well, actually, you can do this and that and that. This. He went to another veteran's office, showed los resultados, and said, look, here's what's going on. They saved the dog. So my point is that knowledge is now not. They were talking about how it's being depreciative because you can access anything. El momento que te ponen un chip, but skills in sports, you can't do that. You're either disciplined and good or you're not.
And even with podcasting or with communications, it's funny because my first time commentating a game was an incredible experience. Let me tell you why. First, I was going to be the PA in Spanish for a match between Ronaldinho and Kaká at Toyota Arena.
Yeah.
So then they tell me, you know what, Julio, the other commentator didn't show up, so guess what? You're going to be it. And I was going to be next to Fernando Fiore. I don't know if you know who Fernando Fiore is.
No lo conozco.
Fernando Fiore es el presidente de la República Deportiva. He had a show for 20 years. An Argentinian guy, very famous, very popular with the soccer community people.
Oh my God.
So, we do the game, and Fernando's like, hey man, let me ask you something. Do you study, like, no sé cómo se llama la carrera, sports?
Journalism.
Journalism, yeah. I'll be honest with you, man, no, I do this from the heart. I love it. I hear, I listen, and then I try to, to do it the right way. He's like, I'm going to tell you something. There's two types of people. Los que en teoría, by the book, they know everything. Everything. But they suck. They have no talent.
Yeah.
And there's people like you that I'm pretty sure if I ask you a couple of questions about the periodismo, you're not even know what to answer.
Yeah.
But the talent that you have is more valuable than going to school for 4 years or whatever to get a career. And that to me was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, even for podcasting, anybody can try to do a podcast, but if you don't have the right tone, the right charisma, the right, what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it at all. Yeah, therethere's people that have the technical aspect of it, pero no tienen forma de, no tienen presentación.
Sí, claro.
No, they don't have personality.
Personalidad, sí.
They don't. It's like, okay, I know how to.
yes, exactly.
They're very robotic.
Yeah.
Oh, he made a goal. What a nice goal that was. Did you see how he kicked it?
You hear it though in the English commentaries. Like sometimes you're like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like put a little bit of passion into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are It's going.
And talk about the players and of course.
Yeah.
Passion.
Love what you do, and it'll take you somewhere.
Yeah. Julio, we covered an hour. I think this is a great introduction. Even I'd love to like cover a game one day where we're watching it and we're just talking whatever how we want to talk about and do that. And I greatly appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
Being part of 32. Well, being one of the founders of 3252. And do you want to give your social media and YouTube one more time?
Yes, of course. You can find me at El Chiva Mayor on Instagram. Sí, en el bajo mundo del Instagram.
En el bajo mundo Instagram.
Same with Twitter or X right now.
Yeah.
And then my YouTube channel is called on TikTok and on YouTube Vive El Futbol _. Vive El Futbol _. And I'm going to have, very good interviews coming up. Gulit Peña, Marco Fabian, Claudio Suarez, which are, ex-soccer players from El Tri, from the national Mexican team.
Yeah.
And hopefully, sooner rather than later, Cristo Fernandez from Ted Lasso is also going to be part of Vive El Futbol pretty soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge. Felicidades.
Yes, gracias. Thank you. And again, just invite everybody to try to be a better human being, man. I think we can all be a better person. And I always love reading sometimes things that Jaime puts, like, man, anybody can be an asshole.
Yeah.
But sometimes just by smiling to somebody, by saying good morning to somebody, change someone's life or someone's perspective of life.
Of course.
Right? So through sports, through being a nice person, I invite you to help us change the world a little bit. Because, it's crazy out there, man. And hopefully one day I can tell you my whole story, how I got here. All the years that it took me to go back to Mexico and what was that all about. Long story. Maybe later on we can.
No. I'm telling you right now that I want to start bringing more people. I've had 154 episodes now.
Nice.
And I think only 3 or 4 have been back, but those catch on better the second time than the first time, porque ya la gente conoce más o menos el cuento, la historia de dónde vienen, qué fue, tú sabes quién son. But that's the idea. Una pregunta más de chismoso.
Dale.
Not everybody gets that ring.
No.
Yeah.
No. I know Jaime has one for sure.
This is the 3rd one I've gotten to see in person. Okay. But my understanding, not everybody gets that. No. Jaime barely got his.
Yeah. No, I mean,
who'd you take that from?
With the club? No, the club gave it to me. You can actually see my last name in the
in
the ring right there. Ramos.
That's badass.
So those are like the ones the players got too. Same with this one.
Espérate un momentico para ponerlo en la cámara.
Claro que sí, hermano.
And talk about it.
Yeah. Eso es nada más. Only the players got him, and obviously people, owners, and all that from the club. And again, I'm very thankful and very blessed that they see me as a person that deserves that type of ring, which is very beautiful, by the way.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And then the other one from the Open Cup last year, same.
But the club gave it to you because I know it was like limited. It's usually like the players.
Yes.
It's usually the office. The CEO.
Mm-hmm.
They just said, "Hey, Julio, here's yours," or you were like, "Hey."
No. They talk about it. They spend a lot of money in these rings, and they give it to the directors of the 3052. To the people that have helped them build what they have right now.
Yeah.
And that's why you see what you see in LAFC. Just to close, if you want to, like the fact that we're shoulder to shoulder with the front office most of the time, it makes a huge difference. A lot of teams around the world, not just the MLS, wish they had. For example, we have meetings with John Torrington, which is the guy in charge of bringing players. You can ask anybody around the world and ask him, "Hey, what team are you a fan of? Have you ever have a meeting with this guy to talk about the players that you want in the team?" It's very rare. So that's the difference between what we do. We're more than a club. Again, we're street by street. We're shoulder to shoulder than what the rest of the clubs are doing.
Yeah. No, that's huge because changes start at the top.
Always.
The top. People say, "Oh, it starts at the bottom." No, it starts at the top. And when you have that relationship, no, I've met everybody, and everybody's been super kind. Everybody's been super kind and accessible.
They better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll call them out.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah. That's one thing that we talked from the beginning. Like, you got to be a very accessible team. We're here for you. You should be here for us.
Yeah. And any last words?
Nada, hermanos. Que viva el fútbol.
Que viva el fútbol. Sí. Muchísimas gracias, Julio.
A ti, hermanito. Bendiciones.
Igual.